Usually it's week 4, week 5, week 6 when you're reminded you don't know anything. I was surprised it came this early this year, the correction Sunday where we find out we don't know a damn thing.
Well, yeah, it's still teams kind of finding themselves, figuring out what are they good at. Dealing with some early season injuries. Teams that are 0-2, we know are going to be desperate. We saw that yesterday. They played really well. A lot of those teams had some upsets. It's the NFL. I mean, it's close. You make a mistake, you do something wrong, whatever it is, and all of a sudden you go, wait, we were favored by 7 or 10, and all of a sudden we're in trouble. We know that's the way it goes. We saw that again last night. Kansas City sitting there and kind of looking good, playing well. Oh, third, fourth, start of the third quarter. Okay, here they go. They're going to dominate. And as you always say, and I give you credit for, they play with their food and let the Falcons hang in there and go 3 and out and can't convert on third and short and do all that. The Chiefs are 3-0, right? But haven't really played an impressive game yet. I think you could say that. There was parts of the Ravens game in week 1 where you went, ooh, wow, that looked good, but it kind of unraveled at the end, and they hung on for dear life. Week 2, I have no problem saying they were outplayed by Cincinnati, not by so much that a play or two wouldn't matter, but still, Cincinnati, I thought, probably played better than they did on that day. They found a way to win like the Chiefs do, and they're great at that. And last night, I'm not going to say Atlanta outplayed them, but I'm going to say that the Chiefs, I think at some points in this game, had a chance to squash them and kind of end this game and put them away to where we go to bed a little early and go, hey, yeah, the Chiefs are up by 10. There's 3 minutes left. We'll see you tomorrow. And they had the chances to do that and didn't do it. So a little bit of a weird taste in your mouth if you're a Chiefs fan or evaluating them.
A microcosm of the Chiefs' experience this season, because they could be 0-3. They just find a way.
They're the greatest. One
when
of the greatest.
Need to make it happen, they find a way to make it happen.
They're one of the greatest I've ever seen as far as finding a way.
One stat matters.
Right.
Points scored, points allowed.
They're one of the only teams we've seen, I think, in this millennium where when they lose the turnover battle, they still have a winning record. I mean, that's incredible. That says something about finding the way too. Here's the other thing I'm going to throw out to you, because I was thinking about this last night too. It's kind of funny. I think we got to change our thought with the Chiefs in general. This started with like, hey, the greatest show on turf and Mahomes, and this is going to be some offensive dynasty. He got hurt, his ankle, in the Jacksonville playoff game 2 years ago, and they have been a defensive dynasty ever since. It has totally switched. And I think that's maybe part of the frustration of watching them at nights. Maybe I got to change my expectation a little bit, that they're just not that on offense. They have little issues on offense. I know they're, got an injury with Hollywood Brown and all that, but really all of last year, that playoff run, and of course here we are early this year, and you'd say the star of the show, the greatest thing about the Kansas City Chiefs, we know Mahomes is great, but the greatest thing about them is their defense right now. And it's kind of rare that they've kind of changed their identity in front of us, and I think we need to start realizing that.
Big stops in big moments, creating turnovers in big moments. It's timely, too. It's knowing when to rise to the occasion and get it done. You look at Mahomes' stats, they really are
they're pedestrian, right?
His passer rating, and I know different people feel differently about it, but it's been the number forever.
It's still a basic guideline. Yeah, that's right.
His first year as a starter was his highest full season passer rating at 113.8. He's at 89.9 now, which was impressive in 1977.
Right.
It's not impressive anymore.
No, right.
5 touchdown passes and 4 interceptions. That's not Patrick Mahomes through 3 games.
No.
Only 5 touchdown passes in 3 games. So, but they're 3-0, and they could be 0-3.
Yeah.
It's about having that mental toughness that they bring to the table every single week. Find a way, find a way.
That's right.
And last night it was the defense. The defense stopped the Falcons twice in the shadow of the end zone.
I know. It's the defense every week. That's what I'm starting to say to you. Last week it was the defense making the strip fumble on Burrow and returning for a touchdown. That won the game. The week before it was the stop in the end zone against the Ravens. So, I mean, Mahomes, we know he's capable of magic, and he's one of the greatest ever. But they really have kind of become this ugly, we're going to run the ball, we're going to chew up the clock. That's what they did last night, dominated time and possession, and we're going to play defense. And we're just going to kind of, make a play here and there in the pass game to keep some drives going. But it's certainly nowhere near the feeling of what we had of the Kansas City Chiefs in the early days of Mahomes, to your point, where you were just like, wait, are they going to score 40 tonight? They going to score 35? Is it going to be 50? How many is he going to throw for tonight? Is it going to be 5? Is it going to be 5 TDs? Is it going to be 4? Is it going to be 400 yards or 315? What's it going to be? Now it's like, Does he ever throw for 400? Are we ever going to get over 300? They're just an explosive element of their offense that's not there. The league has caught on to them as far as what they do in their pass game. And, their offense is a work in progress as we sit here.
And it raises a fair question as to how sustainable it is. Like, we have been led to believe, and we've come to the conclusion independently, that for as long as Patrick Mahomes is around, the Chiefs are going to be contenders.
Yeah.
And pieces around him are going to change. Coaches will come and go. Defensive coordinators will come and go. But as long as Mahomes is the constant, they'll find a way.
Yeah.
That's going to be tested at some point. Because if Steve Spagnuolo is the reason that they're cooking up these defensive schemes and the opportunistic moments where they seal victories or turn defeat into victory with a big play in a big spot, what happens when he retires? What happens if somebody ever wakes up and says, we should make him a head coach again?
Yeah.
We should recognize that his time with the Rams was a complete and total shit show. Sorry, London. It wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
That horrible record that he had in a couple of years there's not on him. Let's look at what he's done since then. Let's give him one more shot. Whatever the case may be, it may not be automatic.
Yeah, great replacement. We just leave it where we left off.
As long as we put Mahomes and anybody, we're going to be competitive. We're going to contend. Like, I feel like this is something that could very easily get knocked out of balance. It's like somebody riding a unicycle. You're on that unicycle and everything is going well until it's not.
Yep.
And I feel like we just assume they're going to keep rolling that unicycle forever. And I don't know. And it may not even last this season. Who knows? We still got 14 games left. Whatever is working for them now, opponents are furiously studying film. They got Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers coming to town next week. Harbaugh is going to want to turn it into a slobber knocker, low-scoring game, especially if he doesn't have Justin Herbert at quarterback. We'll talk about that later. But, I just wonder – I wonder where this is now, and I wonder if they need – I don't know if they need like an offensive creativity
that's what I would go. That's
like
what I
would
say.
Stagnated?
Right. I have the ultimate faith in Andy Reid. I mean, he is the coach of this team that always gets it done. And I do think he'll make appropriate moves, but I think that is something that they're going to have to look at in the future. It's not going to happen this year, but they need obviously maybe another idea guy in their building with the passing game.
Are they like
right? And
addicted to these close wins? Like, is it something that they feel like if we do it now, we can turn it on whenever we want? Like, if we're winning by 30, like
they're numb to pressure because they've been in so many pressure moments they don't care. Right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I know
I'll
what you mean.
still get an A and I won't study.
Right. I don't think they're bothered by close games at all. I know that. Yeah, I mean, you're right about that aspect. And I think when you play in, 4 Super Bowls and 3 of them are really close and you got to come back the way they just look at it and go, oh, okay, we messed up, so what? We'll answer when we need to. We've done that before. We know we can do it. That's the great confidence they have. But, you always worry about, will that come back and bite them in the ass a little bit? But all the concerns you talk about and where it goes, hey, I mean, Andy Reid's made all the right moves. But right now you sit here and you go, they're 3-0. The defense is good. There's no doubt about that. They are running the ball. You like that. But it's not sexy. It's not explosive on offense. They're not good on 3rd and short. You're going to see them. They're not scoring touchdowns when they get close in the red zone inside the 5. That's been a problem with them too. And then I think when you couple, the league is always studying them because they're Kansas City, and everybody has stolen a lot of their concepts and what they do throwing the ball down the field, that I feel like everybody's got a good feel for what they like to do passing-wise. And I think that goes into your point of, I do think at some point Andy Reid needs to bring somebody in to give some fresh looks and ideas and things to their passing game. But then to this team right now, you got Rashee Rice, and you don't have anybody else at receiver. And that's another problem, too. They're in the process right now of this transition of no longer Kelsey is the number 1 target. I've been trying to say this to you, in the podcasts and whatever that I do, that Rashee Rice is the new guy there. It's not Travis Kelsey anymore. 90% of their plays are called for Rashee Rice. Now, the problem is after that, who's going to be number 2? And Travis Kelsey has not looked good. They've not been able to get him going. Xavier Worthy seems like a gadget guy right now at this point as he finds his legs. And that's another thing that worries you about this Chiefs offense, Mike, is just, can they just rely on Rashee Rice and the running ball of Steele up the middle here the next few weeks and get it done that way? I don't know.
Carson Steele, undrafted rookie, 17 carries for 72 yards on the day his sister got married.
Crazy.
Little did she know when they booked the wedding
Yes.
that her brother would be starting a game at tailback because Isaiah Pacheco's on injured reserve with that fibula injury. But Samaje Perine had 6 for 25. And there was a question which of the two guys is really going to be the one. Perine's a recent arrival. Steele's been around for the offseason program and whatnot. And it was Steele that had the ball. And it just shows you the commitment to that. And that's something Andy Reid's been criticized for in the past, not committing to the run, to still have 17 carries for 72 yards, 4.2 yards per carry. Perine also averaged 4.2. So it was working. That's efficient.
It's
not dominant, but it's efficient.
No.
And it becomes a nice complement to the passing game.
That's where I give him, Andy Reid, I give him a ton of credit. Andy Reid's the guy for the first 17 years of this century. We said he won't run the ball. He won't run it. What's going on? Run it. They're playing too deep. The start of the Mahomes era. Run it. What's the problem here? He's totally changed into patient run guy. I'm going to play through my defense as a head coach now. I mean, I give him a lot of respect for that. But, yeah, nothing is easy for them on that side of the ball. They have moments where you go, oh, wait, that's how I want them to look, like the first drive of the third quarter last night. But then, again, that fizzled out for a field goal. And then there was the next drive, I guess, in the third quarter is the one I'm thinking about for the touchdown, where you go, oh, wait, that's the Chiefs. But then it completely stalls out. 72 plays for 4.8 yards per play, right? 34 minutes in time of possession, 345 yards of total offense. I mean, solid numbers, but not the kind of numbers you expect with the Mahomes and Andy Reid-led offense or team. And I think that's where I think I have to adjust my mindset, too. I keep thinking their offense is going to catch fire here, and I don't know if that's going to happen. They're a defensive football team right now.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.